Imagine walking home late at night, the streets eerily quiet, save for the faint hum of flickering streetlights. Your footsteps echo through the emptiness when suddenly, there it is. A small, black cube sitting in the middle of the sidewalk. It looks harmless, almost ordinary, until you pick it up. That's when the whispers start. Faint at first, but growing louder, invading your mind with promises, temptations, and terrifying commands. They say those who touch the cube don't just hear the whispers, they lose themselves to them. Tonight, we're diving into the horrifying mystery of the Black Cube, an urban legend that has left a trail of terror, shattered minds, and chilling encounters in its wake. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may make you think twice about what you pick up off the ground. The origins of the Black Cube are as shadowy as the object itself. Some say it dates back to ancient Mesopotamia, where priests allegedly used such cubes to imprison malevolent spirits. According to forbidden texts, a sorcerer sealed a powerful demon, one that fed on human despair, inside a cube made from obsidian mined under a blood moon. The cube was then cursed to remain hidden for eternity. But curses, as we know, have a way of unraveling. Others claim the cube appeared much later, surfacing during the Black Plague in 14th century Europe. Stories tell of a strange artifact found among the dead. Those who touched it reported visions of shadowy figures and voices urging them to commit heinous acts. By the time authorities arrived to investigate, the cube was gone, leaving behind only madness and misery. Whatever its true origin, one thing is certain. The Black Cube has a knack for showing up where it's least expected. Theories about the Black Cube abound. Some skeptics argue it's nothing more than a psychological phenomenon, a trick of the mind amplified by suggestion and fear. But how do you explain the consistency in these stories? Paranormal enthusiasts argue that the Black Cube is no ordinary object. It's a vessel crafted through forbidden rituals designed to trap a demon of unparalleled malevolence. The cube itself is said to hum faintly when touched, resonating with the unholy energy of the entity inside. Ancient texts describe its creation as a last-ditch effort by sorcerers to contain a demon that had caused mass hysteria and death wherever it roamed. But over centuries, the seal binding the demon has weakened. Faint cracks, invisible to the naked eye, are said to form on its surface, like veins of shadow crawling across obsidian. These cracks allow the demon to whisper to anyone who touches the cube, sowing seeds of chaos and despair. Witnesses describe hearing their darkest secrets dredged up, fears amplified, and desires twisted into something grotesque. The most chilling detail? Those whispers don't stop when you let go of the cube. They linger, haunting your thoughts and compelling you to seek the cube out again, until you give in to its commands, and the demon gains another puppet. The second theory is far more sinister. If the cube isn't a prison, but a beacon, its purpose takes on an even darker meaning. Every time someone picks it up, the act is said to draw the demon closer to manifesting in our world. Those who hold the cube become conduits, bridges between dimensions, allowing the demon to reach out, testing the limits of its influence. If true, then every cube left behind isn't an accident. It's a trap. Reports from those who've encountered the cube share a disturbing pattern. First, shadowy figures begin appearing in their periphery, watching silently. These figures grow bolder, drawing closer each night, until one stands at the foot of their bed, its presence so oppressive they cannot move or breathe. And then there's the mark. Some victims claim that after touching the cube, they discover strange, blackened veins on their hands, like a brand. These marks don't fade. They grow, spreading across the body as the demon's influence deepens. Those who reach this stage often vanish without a trace, their last known whereabouts eerily close to where the cube was found. If this theory is true, every Black Cube isn't just a random anomaly, it's a calculated placement, a trap designed to lure humanity into unleashing something far worse than our darkest nightmares. Consider the story of Mike Rodriguez, a delivery driver in Phoenix. One night, while on his usual route, he spotted a small black object lying in the middle of a deserted road. Curious, he picked it up. That's when things got strange. Mike claims the cube felt unnaturally heavy, as if it carried a weight far beyond its size. Moments after touching it, he heard a voice, a deep, guttural growl, telling him to drive off the bridge. Shaken, he threw the cube out the window, but for weeks after, he swore he could still hear the whispers in his dreams. Then there's the story of Lena, a college student from Boston. She found a black cube while walking home from a late-night study session. At first, it seemed like a random piece of junk, but when she held it, Lena said her surroundings grew unnaturally quiet, and the air felt cold. She began seeing flickering shadows out of the corner of her eye, even in her well-lit apartment. After 3 sleepless nights, she returned the cube to where she found it, and the disturbances stopped. Also, there's the chilling story of Sarah and Mark, a couple from Portland. While hiking in a dense forest, they found a small black cube partially buried in the dirt. Thinking it was interesting, they brought it home. That night, Sarah woke to scratching sounds on the walls. Mark swore he heard faint laughter in the living room. The next morning, the cube, which they'd locked in a drawer, was sitting on their coffee table. Mark grew distant and irritable, while Sarah was plagued by nightmares of a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. One night, she woke to find Mark standing over her, clutching the cube and whispering something unintelligible. Panicked, Sarah threw the cube into a river the next day. The activity stopped, but Mark was never the same since. Sometimes, she catches him staring into the distance, his lips moving silently. To this day, Sarah says she still hears scratching at their windows, even on the second floor. "I thought it was over," she told a local investigator. "But I think the cube leaves more behind than just whispers." Are these just vivid imaginations? Or are these people unwitting victims of something far darker? The black cube, an ancient prison, or a sinister invitation? Its origins may be lost to time, but one thing is certain. Its purpose is far from innocent. If you ever stumble across one, will you risk picking it up, knowing the stories of those who did? Or will you walk away, leaving the whispers for someone else to hear? But perhaps it's already too late. Maybe the cube isn't waiting to be found. Maybe it's already watching you. What would you do if you found the black cube? Let me know in the comments if you're brave enough